You know, when we do this normally with a silicone, I have you guys build a foam box. What we do is we take this material, and then I have you guys actually build a box that your master mold sits in. This is just a real crude representation. And then you set this in it like this. We double tape it to the bottom of this, and then we put a base on this also. Kind of like this. Hot glue it all down, stick it in here, and then we actually pour the silicone in. So, and that way we can really minimize the amount of silicone. We can get the exact wall depth that we want and everything. So we customize a box for the mold. In this case, because we're just pushing it on the mold, that doesn't work really well. So again, this is just something totally new that I'm hoping will work well for you guys. So, okay, so there we have it. We have a casting with the silicone. I think that went pretty well. So I'm going to try one more here. Since I've got the tube, I'm just going to go ahead and do a second one. Use up the rest of the material. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It feels cool. Okay, so what we have here is, you know, after this sets up, and you'll need, I would recommend at least 24 hours. In fact, it wouldn't hurt to let it sit up for like 48 hours. It'll start to get stiff fairly soon, but the longer, you know, if you can give it a little bit more time to set up, that's going to be a good thing. So this mold we just did, this hasn't cured up, but we were actually able to cast from that a hydrostone mold. So this is a product of a silicone casting right here, where we did the original foam model, and then you will pour your hydrostone material into that, and then pull this out. And I'll demonstrate that later, but that's an example of one that was pulled from that mold already. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate casting the hydrostone later, but I want to show you putting the silicone mold onto a hydrostone casting. So here again we have the hydrostone casting, very similar. We're going to go through basically the same steps. I want to get soap on here, soapy water, feels good. Okay, probably should knead this a little bit longer. I haven't worked it up too long. Just going to keep working it here. Yeah, I've worked with silicone most of my life, doing a lot of projects. Never realized that I could make a silicone mold from a tube of silicone. Makes sense though, but it's super, super sticky. You know, another thing you might try here, because I'm just kind of figuring out a lot of this stuff myself just on the fly. We've just played a little bit with it in here. But I can probably, well, I can get a pretty good surface just by pressing it against this glass bowl on the inside and not even bringing it out and trying to get a nice flat surface on the corian. So I can get it I like to get a nice surface on the area I'm going to initially press against. I think that's helpful. Okay, so here we go. I think I'm good. So it feels pretty good. I'm going to soak this up again here. You really want to keep this stuff in the water as much as possible just before you do it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to bring this one up around the sides. I think I'm going to use the same method just with the tape. I just need to wrap something around it just to kind of keep it. You know, the other thing too, and I haven't tried this, but you know what? I'm going to do it this time. I am actually going to set it down on a surface like this. Press it down. See if I can get it into all the corners and see what happens. This might work really well. Here I've got it turned around. I won't have the flat surface on the top, although I could get a flat surface on the top if I wanted to press it down. That might be a trade-off, I don't know. I like having the flat surface on the bottom for when I go and do the casting. So advantages, disadvantages. Advantage here is I don't have to tape it, and hopefully I can get a really tight fit around the edges and it will hold. So this is not good. It's wanting to stick to the surface there a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry off my hands here. Take some tape. Pressure around this. See if I can wrap it and get it to stick again there. It's another way to hold the sides in, hopefully. I think I am going to turn this back over. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable that I think I would still prefer this method maybe. Key is to be able to wrap this and get really good pressure. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to spin it, hopefully get a good wrap around it. Now it looks like I might have pressed a little too more material out of this side than I wanted to. Okay, and you can keep checking these. You can feel this one's definitely stiffened up since we did it. This one's going to start to stiffen up pretty good too. It's a little thin over here. I don't know that I'm real happy about that. But now I can level it out. I'm going to push down, see if I can kind of get it level. So it's level on the bottom when I go to do my second casting. Okay, there you have it. Silicone mold with 100% all-purpose silicone. We'll see how it works.